Well, hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It's great to be with you. And I just want to thank you guys for joining if it's the very first time. And if you've been here before, well, of course, welcome back. It is so great to be with you here on the Inspirations for Your Life show. If you have never been here before, be sure to check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. If you're thirsty, guys, feel free to go get yourself some water, another drink, a snack, fruit, whatever it is. Feel free to grab that and come on back to the show. All right, guys. Without any further ado, I want to go ahead and kick this show off. All right, everyone. As I said, this is Inspirations for Your Life. It's the daily motivational show. We're talking about quiet power, winning without losing yourself. This is day 5, Clarity Over Chaos, series 5. We're in the 5th year. We've been on the air already 4 years. This is our 14th day in the 5th year. Yeah, guys, it's episode number 5. So basically, it's series 5. It's actually, it's series 5. It's show number 3, and it's episode number 5. And it is so great to be with you guys. Yes, so hello, everyone, and welcome back to Inspirations for Your Life. This is the daily motivational show where growth is intentional, success is sustainable, and leadership begins from the inside out. Well, now that I have your attention, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, your host, entrepreneur here, serial entrepreneur, engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, graduate student, and a passionate lifelong learner. And of course, it is my privilege, guys, and it is my pleasure to be with all of you this evening. So over the years, guys, of building businesses, leading teams, and producing content and coaching others, I've learned something critical. Chaos does not create progress. Clarity does. When your mind is clear, your energy is protected, your decisions improve, and your results, well, they accelerate. Today's episode is all about choosing clarity over chaos. And I think sometimes that becomes a challenge for some people. They don't necessarily know, what it means or why it means. But this is an important thing to understand, because I think when you understand these things, that's when life changes for you. Okay, that's when it changes, and it may change. Now it could change later. But I think that's a very important thing, and I hope that gets you guys to understand what we're all about here, because this is pretty amazing, guys. What's going on in the show, and all these great things that we're doing to help you guys become, yes, a better version of yourself. Not because you have to, but because, ladies and gentlemen, you should want to become a better version of yourself. This is not forced. It's something you should want to do. So, again, it is such a privilege to be with you guys tonight. Let's get right into our first point. That's clarity. Clarity eliminates stress by removing uncertainty and mental friction. A lot of times people in life, they get, discombobulated, okay, with, where they are, what they're doing, and things like that. And so I know a lot of times people get frustrated because they don't necessarily know where to go, or they don't know what to do. That's important. Is that interesting? So that's an important thing to realize for a lot of people. So let's jump into point number 2. Point number 2 is this, and that is confusion drains energy and slows momentum. Yeah, whenever we get confusion, it's like, what the heck are we doing, or why are we doing things? And I know that can sound, well, it could sound like something that's like a train stop, but I'm telling you, it's not a train stop. All right. It's about your direction in life. All right. Number three, guys, clear minds move faster because decisions are simpler. So when we break things down into smaller projects, we're able to understand things, well, a lot better. And because we don't have confusion, um, that's the magic, guys. That's why things are easy for us, right? I think that's a very important thing for everyone to understand that when we break things down, we make them simpler. We can have more steps, right? But if we break it down to smaller tasks, it becomes easier for us. Number four, focus is freedom from distraction and becoming overwhelmed. How many of you guys, get overwhelmed? I'm sure you do. A lot of you get overwhelmed because you don't necessarily know why something's happening a certain way or what's going on. And I think that's a very important thing for a lot of people to understand that whole concept of why is it that we're doing it this way today? Why are we doing it a different way tomorrow? Like, why? Um, and maybe that means something to you. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But I think getting overwhelmed, think of it like this. If there was a cup of coffee or maybe another beverage and you filled it, right, to the top, but then you kept filling it, right? You ever gone to one of those soda fountains and they're supposed to stop because it's supposed to know the size of the cup automatically, but it doesn't always, and it makes more of a mess. So it relies on you to kind of stop. And then sometimes you don't pull back in time, and then you forget how much time, or you don't know how much time it's going to take before it actually stops. It should stop in like a fraction of a second, but sometimes it takes 2 or 3 seconds, and then that might overwhelm or overflow your cup, right? Okay. Number five, and it creates a mess, right? So simplicity is strategic and leads to execution every single day. Okay. Every single day. All right. And that's really important how execution works in our lives. It's nothing to be fearful of. It's something that we need to embrace. It's something we need to learn every single day in our life. But I know some people out there, they just don't understand. They they keep doing what the Joneses are doing. And not that the Joneses are bad. The Joneses are very nice people, but in reality, we need to have our own mind, right? Our own directions. Clarity reduces anxiety by creating direction. Hmm. Does that make sense? Does that all make sense? Hopefully it makes sense. I think sometimes when we go a certain direction, we don't really understand things sometimes. And we jump in like, we're supposed to put our toe in the water, but we jump like, totally in, whether it's head first or we jump totally into the water and it's cold. And our body responds with a kind of weird reaction like, whoa, what did you just do to me? You just jumped into water that's, well, it's only 60 or 70 degrees, but that's cold when it's 85 or 90 degrees outside, right? That big difference is a real killer to our body. Forget the polar bear swim. Do any of you guys know? I've done the polar bear swim. So how cold? Does anybody know how cold? Anybody want to guess? How cold is the water in a polar bear swim? Does anybody want to guess that? Um, so the water in a polar bear swim can be cold. Polar bear swim water. Um, I remember doing it, and it was like really, really below the temperature. I think we were like in the. We weren't in the. I'm gonna say we weren't in the like the. How can I say? We weren't in any type of a problem, but it was definitely double digits. Definitely double digits. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. And one time it wasn't even cold enough, so we actually put ice down our bathing suits so that we could experience the polar bear 'cause it was too warm out, right? It was way, way, too warm out. And, that was an important thing, um, for everyone to understand. It was that whole experience that we had, right? It was that whole experience that we had, and that experience that made things, well, it made things pretty interesting if you ask me, right? All right, number 7, guys. Chaos is not productivity. It's noise, right? How many times have you ever gone to maybe somewhere and you've heard noise or you've had background noise? And it wasn't supposed to get in the way of what you were doing, but sometimes it does if the background noise is too loud or if the beat is too, let's say, distracting to us. It's supposed to be calm, right? Number 8, guys, clear goals calm the nervous system and build confidence. Yeah, clear goals build confidence. And I think that's something that a lot of people just don't really understand. Number 9, mental order creates consistent momentum. Number 10, clarity is calming and it is grounding. So it's not just calming, guys, but it's grounding. And I think being grounded is another whole piece. Number 11, guys, fewer priorities lead to stronger results. When you have too many priorities, it's like, I don't know, it's like you fall off the ship. It's like you don't know where to go next. And I think that can be a challenge for some people. So, number 12, clear thinking is rare and it's powerful. Number 13, eliminating noise multiplies results. So maybe you've gone somewhere and people say, could you turn off that noise? Could you turn off that distraction? And sure, but I know I've even seen it when I've visited friends or family and they, don't really understand. Does that make sense? I hope it makes some sense to you guys because um, hopefully that makes sense to you. If it doesn't, then think about this for a moment. Think about how this could affect your life. All right. When we take out a noise, so I was telling you about I was visiting family over the holidays, and my dad always had the TV on, and I was trying to do something else, but he had the TV on that had like music, but the music was like loud. It wasn't like at a level that wasn't going to disturb me. It was loud. Number 14, guys, calm minds execute better under pressure. That's a very important thing to definitely understand. Does that make sense, guys? If you don't understand, then I'm thinking you're lost in where you are. You're not understanding a direction, right? And direction gets muddled when we have noise. Number 15, clarity will prevent burnout because we don't have to do something over and over and over and over again. Do you know what I mean? I'm hoping that you guys get that. Okay. Over and over and over again. Hopefully that makes sense to you. And if it doesn't, then it just means that you haven't figured out your purpose yet. You haven't figured out your true purpose. And that's totally okay. Number 16, you don't need more ideas. You need a clear direction. You need a clear direction. And that's important, guys. Number 17, focus beats motivation because it lasts. So motivation will put us back on track. But when we focus, that's motivation turned up to like the very highest level. I think that's a challenge for a lot of people, that they have to still stay motivated. And if they don't, then they feel like they can't go anywhere, right? Number 18, guys. Organized thoughts create confidence. Organized thoughts create confidence. That's a very important thing. Confidence. Confidence is something we don't take lightly. Confidence is something that we build upon. Confidence is not something, ladies and gentlemen, that we are, as I said, born with. It's something that we grow into. It's something that we learn. All right? It's not something to be scared of. Okay? It's not something to be scared of. That's an important thing that I think a lot of you probably should know. It's not something to be scared of. Okay? It's not something to be scared of. It's not something to be scared of. And I think sometimes, and sometimes we get calls in the studio. Our phones are supposed to be off, but every once in a while we get phone calls. So sorry about that little bit of an interruption. But I think sometimes people don't realize the one important truth, and that one important truth is this. The truth is that we have to know who we are and what we're doing. All right? That's an important thing. Number 19, clarity creates speed. Clarity always creates speed. All right? It creates speed. And that's key, because clarity helps us gain a direction. Confusion delays success. Number 21, simpler plans execute faster. Yeah, they're faster because they become something that we didn't know about, and they help us get to a different point. Number 22, mental decluttering changes everything. Mental decluttering changes everything. Clear boundaries protect energy. Number 24, focus compounds over time. Focus compounds over time. That's a very, very valuable one that I think a lot of people miss. Number 25, clarity feels peaceful. 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 Less chaos creates more progress. Okay? It creates less. We get more progress out of it. Number 27, clear vision. Clear vision, guys, beats the hustle. Clear vision beats the hustle. It beats the hustle every single day. Number 28, direction reduces fear. Direction reduces fear. It's not for us to get scared about. It's not for us to jump over. It's for us to understand and for us to be aware of what's going on. Just like I talked to you about noise and distractions, right? Noise and distractions can cause problems in everyone's life. And I think that's a very important thing that a lot of people, don't get. They don't understand that. Number 29, guys, calm thinking scales with responsibility. Calm thinking scales with responsibility. All right. Calm thinking scales responsibility. So we can go higher. We can reach larger um, points because we're calm. Okay. We can become calm. And that's a very, very important thing for us to understand, to grasp. Number 30, guys, clarity is power. Clarity is power. When we have power, then I think that's a very important thing to understand. Clarity is power. Clarity is power. Clarity is power. When we're clear about something, it's like the world opens up for us. Okay? The world opens up for us. The world opens up for us. Sometimes we're on a journey and it gets a little cloudy. Many of us turn back. Maybe we don't have the tools to get rid of that cloudiness or that smoke or that fog. So we feel we're better off to just turn around. We don't stop where we are. We completely go back to the beginning. That's not a good thing, guys. Definitely not a good thing. And I want to be clear about that with everyone. It's not a good thing to just turn back. If you were pausing and doing some things and then going to go back, no problem with that. But staying where you are and then turning around and going all the way back, that's a big, big problem, guys. That's a huge problem that a lot of people just don't understand. Does that make sense to everybody? If it doesn't make sense, then you need to understand it. Okay? And if that's a problem for you, then how are you ever going to get to point A? Or even get to point B or point C? It might be on point C. And if point C is something that you don't understand, then I feel that you might get confused. Not saying you're going to, but I'm saying you might get confused. You might get confused. And if you get confused, are you going to turn around? Or are you going to just try to get research and figure out what needs to be done before you go back again? Before you go back again. And a lot of people, they get confused. I'm going to tell you this. A lot of people, they get confused. Again, not because they want to be confused, but they do get confused. And so when somebody gets confused, that's not a time to start over from scratch. This is what I want to tell you. It's not a time to start over from scratch. It's time to go from point A to point B, point C, and maybe to point Z. Right? I think those are important things. And that could be a difference to you becoming successful and you stopping and quitting and turning around. As I said to you guys, clarity is power. Clarity is power. Clarity is power. And if clarity is power, then I feel you have a lot of potential if you understand that clarity is power. If you don't understand clarity is power, then you're going to be a little lost. You're going to be like wondering, like where is it? And we all get lost sometimes, right? We all get lost sometimes, and that's important to understand that we all do get lost. And if we get lost, then we should figure out what needs to be done. Think about that. Clarity is power for everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Inspirations for Your Life. This is the daily motivational show for people who want to move forward, to move the needle, to act with intention instead of being overwhelmed. I know a lot of you say, John, I can't do this. And the number one reason people can't do something, I'll tell you why. It's because they lose confidence in themselves. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, reminding you that clarity is not a luxury, it is a strategy. Choose clarity, protect your focus, and let quiet power lead the way for you. Be sure to check out believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, of course, inspiring creations, which you now can do 24 hours a day. Short form content, long form content, articles, reels, and so much more. So, what are you waiting for? The show is over. Go ahead and check that out and tell your friends and colleagues about it. Have a great one, everyone. And remember, clarity is one of the big keys to success.